Assuming you're searching for AMP cost expectations gauge for 2024, 2024, 2025, 2030 and need to know where the cost of AMP will go from here on out. We will examine the previous costs of AMP and we'll figure out what specialists are talking about its future cost activities. Kindly remember that you really want to take this expectation and each and every forecast with the goal that this is just the idea of some market master examiners. Also, anticipating something so wonderful is totally inconceivable. In any case, we will make an honest effort. How about we start? As per the most recent information accumulated, the ongoing cost of AMP is $69 and AMP is as of now positioned #257 in the whole crypto environment. The flow supply of AMP is 42,227,702,186 with a market cap of $291,557,220. In the beyond 24 hours, the crypto has been diminished by 0.42% in its ongoing worth. Assuming we analyze the ongoing business sector cap of the AMP with yesterday's, you can see that the market cap is additionally down. AMP is confronting a difficult time jumping aboard with other crypto coins. The AMP is down to nearly 2.1% over the most recent 7 days. The coin is as yet showing gambling with outlining fragments for recent days. The coin could areas of strength for have, however, we don't believe that it would a productive resource in present moment. We anticipate future AMP cost expectations AMP conjecture by applying profound man-made brainpower helped specialized examination on the past value information of AMP. We give a valiant effort to gather most extreme verifiable information for the AMP coin which incorporate various boundaries like past value, AMP market cap, AMP volume and not many more. Assuming that you are hoping to put resources into advanced digital currencies and need great profit from your ventures, make a point to peruse our forecasts. AMP value expectation synopsis. AMP is expected to arrive at a most extreme cost of $0.0152 continuously 2025. The typical extended cost for AMP in 2030 is supposed to be $101, with expected change somewhere in the range of $0.0774 and $0.0915. As of the most recent update, AMP is exchanging at around $0.969. Long-haul investigation proposes that AMP cost might actually flood to $7.59 by 2050. AMP is gauged to arrive at a typical cost of $4.88 toward the finish of 2040. AMP value expectation 2024. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least worth of $0.89 in 2024. The AMP cost could arrive at a greatest worth of $1.05 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.93 all through 2024. AMP value forecast 2025. According to the gauge and specialized examination, in 2025 the cost of AMP is supposed to reach at any rate value worth of $0.0124. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest value worth of $0.0152 with the typical worth of $0.0127. AMP value figure for 2026. AMP cost is figured to arrive at a most reduced conceivable degree of $1.84 in 2026. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme conceivable degree of $0.16 with the typical conjecture cost of $1.19. AMP value expectation 2027. The cost of 1 AMP is supposed to reach at least degree of $0.26 in 2027. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme degree of $0.0313 with the typical cost of $2.69 all through 2027. AMP value expectation 2028. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP, in 2028 the cost of AMP is determined to be at around a base worth of $0.373. The AMP value worth can arrive at a limit of $0.0443 with the typical exchanging worth of $0.83 in Erste. AMP value expectation 2029. AMP cost is conjectured to arrive at a most minimal conceivable degree of $0.4536 in 2029. According to our discoveries, the AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme conceivable degree of $643 with the typical conjecture cost of $552. AMP value expectation 2030. As per our profound specialized examination on past value information of AMP, in 2030 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at least degree of $0.0774. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $0.0915 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.91. AMP value figure 2031. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least worth of $0.1159 in 2031. The AMP cost could arrive at a most extreme worth of $0.1E359 with a typical exchanging cost of $0.1E199 all through 2031. AMP value expectation 2032. According to the figure cost and specialized examination, in 2032 the cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least degree of $1.661. The AMP cost can arrive at a greatest degree of $93 with the typical exchanging cost of $0.709. AMP value expectation 2033. The cost of AMP is anticipated to reach at the very least degree of $1.303 in 2033. The AMP cost can arrive at a most extreme degree of $1.870 with the typical cost of $1.388 all through 2033. AMP value figure 2040. The reception and genuine use instances of a digital currency are similarly indispensable contemplations. Projects with pragmatic applications and boundless reception are bound to persevere over the long haul. According to the AMP cost estimate for 2040, AMP is expected to arrive at a most extreme value worth of $537 in 2040. The base anticipated cost of AMP coin in 2040 is supposed to be around $457. While the typical cost of the AMP for 2040 is projected to be $488. AMP value figure for 2050. Understanding business sector patterns and opinions is critical, however feeling can be whimsical. Looking at current market elements can offer bits of knowledge into potential cost developments, yet taking into account the more extensive ecosystem is fundamental. In 2050, the greatest cost of AMP is supposed to reach $759, with a typical exchanging worth of $699. The base cost is projected to be around $672. AMP value figure facts. How high could AMP at any point go? The typical cost of AMP could go to $0.93 before the current year's over. Assuming we gauge the 5-year plan, it is assessed that the coin will handily come to the $0.033 mark. What is the AMP cost today? Today AMP is exchanging at $0.69 with the market cap of $291 to $557,220,000. What amount does AMP cost in 2025? The cost of AMP will increment as additional financial backers engage in the task. In year 2025, AMP will be worth about a normal cost of $127. Is AMP a wise speculation? AMP's worth is supposed to keep on growing, as deficiency will in general empower cost rise. If it's not too much trouble, note, there is a gamble to any venture. Simply put resources into what you can achieve prior to arriving at any resolutions and lead the greatest examination conceivable. What amount will AMP be worth in 2030? As far as value, AMP has an exceptional potential to arrive at new levels. It is estimated that AMP will increment in esteem. As indicated by unambiguous specialists and business examiners, AMP can raise a ruckus around town cost of